This
Oh, cool.
Thank you. Um, guys, my power up imepotea, but my I am at maybe 70%. Might take us maybe for the next like 1 hour. So, guys, remind me yesterday and also the day before, I told you about a few compliance requirements that we have. Can you mention for me the ones that you remember? I mentioned how many? I mentioned three. I mentioned three. All right, Musembi. Lakini answer hata iko hapa. Is that okay? Good, perfect. All right, guys, remind me of the types of compliances I told you about. Okay, let me start with one and then you give me the two. We have HIPAA. Yes, thank you, Reg. Another one, GDPR. Another one, last one. PCI DSS. Perfect. Gideon, ukiambiwa uchague army, utupee siri ya kukunywa maji tusiwachwe nyuma. All right, so today we are going to look at the regulatory compliance standards that we have. You people will love laughing. All right, so the goal of security compliance, number one, is to regulate. Regulations are first a security mandate, and also regulations vary from different countries, cultures, jurisdictions, and you can create your own compliance and regulatories for your own organizations. All right. Now, let me just see here. All right, all right, all right. It's okay. So, we've said that regulatory compliances can vary either with your location, so they can be country specific. For example, like we have the European compliance when it comes to data. That's why we have something like GDPR. It can be industry specific. For example, we can have, for example, like for the financial industry, we have PCI DSS that governs card transactions. We have for healthcare that protects patients' medical data. And we can have contractual requirements that can be in the form of either as an SLA, as a service level agreement. This is a contract that will show the quality, performance, expectations of the service provided to a customer. And also, we can have a PLA, which is a project labor agreement, which will define the source and terms and conditions of the personnel used for a project. For example, like when it comes to project labor agreement, AWS has or even AWS partners, they have specifications of the kind of personnel they want working for them. Uh-huh. So there are three compliance levels and non-compliance. For the compliance levels, they vary by either authority type or non-compliance. Authority type and non-compliance has consequences. So for external authority, this includes things like the government or laws. For example, like we have for in Kenya, we have the Data Protection Act, we have the authority like for communications authority which governs what you can share, what you cannot share. There are these laws that are created every single day in our nation here to say you cannot maybe attack your leaders in X, so such. And then we also have open standards. Open standards, these are compliance recommended to participate. So, for example, an example maybe of an open standard maybe is for when you're creating your website and you're recommended, maybe you can add the cookies, share your cookies with the website or something. And then we also have best practices. So, best for example, like as we say, secure your use the principle of secure. Are you guys hearing me? Am I breaking? All right, all right. Thanks. So we have best practices. Thank you. We have best practices like these ones. You can you okay. You're just advised that it is good if you do something. So an example of a best practice is, for example, something like we are advised by AWS to use the principle of least privilege, which is a best practice. All right. We are told that it is good to protect your EC2 instances that hold a lot of data that maybe you don't want the data to be known by the public. You put them you put them in a private subnet. So these are best practices. And then we have compliant consequences for non-compliance. For example, in governments or laws, you can be criminalized. For example, like you guys will remember the one that they passed when Raila died, that was saying if maybe you attack someone on the internet and you're arrested, you can be taken to the court for how long, you can be jailed for how long, or a minimal bond or bail of how long. So you can go through penalties, legal actions, and then
Joy, we can't hear you.
having your if you're having your like if you're in an organization, for example, if your company is in a certain network of organizations, you can be this I almost said dismembered. No. You can be unaweza fukuzwa, you can be chased away from the group. And then for the best practices, maybe if an organization knows that maybe your website is not, maybe for your clients, maybe they get to know that maybe you're not following best practices, say for security of their data, you can lose your clients, you can lose your partners, you can lose your revenue. So it's good that you get to know about the different regulatory compliances that you have, and you also you abide by them. Here is a list of some of the organizations focused on developing cybersecurity standards. We have the NIST, ENISA, all this. In fact, the most common one is the ISO. We have IEEE for the engineers as well. So I'm pretty sure you guys have seen a few of these. Um, let's learn some of the compliances that we have that might actually come to your exams, but you should just know what it is for. For example, I told you for PCI DSS, it's for your card payments, all right? So PCI stands for Payment Card Industry, DSS, Data Security Standards, and it is an international regulation for requirements intended to maintain secure environment when you're paying using your card transactions. And for PCI DSS, it covers credit cards, debit cards, just all your bank cards that you can have. So you should ensure you are PCI DSS regulated when you remember, guys, I was telling you, if you have your e-commerce site, ensure that when people are going to pay using their cards, you protect their card numbers, their CVV, and their month of expiry. All right. So PCI is for credit card and debit card protection. Then we go to HIPAA. HIPAA, now guys, HIPAA is written like this. It's double A. The reason why I am sensitizing on it is because in the exam you can get a question asking you the regulatory compliance of health, and you'll be given HIPAA with double A or HIPAA with double P and a single A. So it's double A, all right? HIPAA. It's Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, all right, of 1966. So HIPAA tells you how you should handle healthcare information. And you guys, you might wonder why people, especially people with chronic diseases, lifelong diseases, there are people who do not like sharing their health information. And hospitals and anyone who deals with medical records are always subjected to HIPAA. They should protect the medical records of people, whether you're a hospital, a chemist, a practitioner, a consultant, an oncologist, all those things. All right. Now, so that I see who I have in class, let me ask you a question. A dermatologist is a doctor for what? Hey, fine. Hey, ladies are the only ones who are knowing this. Aish, aish, it's just the ladies. Gentlemen, dermatologist is the doctor for the skin. Perfect. Makofi kwa ladies. All gentlemen, clap for ladies. Patrick, help me clap for the ladies. Boy children, mimi hata sijui watasaidika aje. Sasa wavulana mkiwa na acne, where do you go to? Eh? Haujui aje Gideon. All right. All right. Um, so the act contains 5 titles. Number one, protects the coverage of health insurance for those who have changed or lost their jobs. The second one directs the US Department of Health and Human Services to standardize the process of electronic healthcare and transactions nationwide. Title 3, it relates to provision of the tax-related and general medical care guidelines. Title 4, further reforms for health insurance. Title 5, provisions associated with company-owned insurance and treatment for those who lost their citizenships to come for tax reasons. Next, we have compliance standards. So in the EU, we have GDPR. So GDPR is a set of regulations created to provide EU citizens more enhanced control over their personal and private data. And I wish that African Union would have its own GDPR because we're Africa. Because it provides strict protection of personal data, companies that do business with the EU are required to comply with GDPR, and that's why it's actually important that if you're having your website or an application, just ensure that you're GDP compliant, GDPR compliant, because you might not know who you'll attract. You might have items that are attracting people from the EU. And if they realize that you've been selling their data or harvesting their data, then you might get yourself into legal issues, all right? Even if you wanted your site to just be maybe for Africans and Americans. So GDPR is based on principles that include lawfulness, fairness and transparency, purpose limitation, data minimization, accuracy, storage limitation, integrity and confidentiality, and accountability. And you guys, if you look at all this, it's about the data. So, number one, ensuring that data is not being sold, it's not being harvested, ensuring that its use is just what you said you're going to use it. If you're collecting people's numbers and emails and names, what are you going to do with them? Is it just for marketing, or you're going to sell it to maybe Meta to do advertisements or Google to do advertisements? Data minimizations: collect as minimal data as you need, ensure that data is kept accurate, store your data very well, that it is secure. Integrity and confidentiality, and ensuring that data is not changed and data is only accessible to those who it should be accessible to. And accountability. When we go to Canada, yes, when. Yes, it's just a matter of when, not if. So in Canada, we have personal information. Esther, umesikia hiyo? Tunaenda Canada in case, Esther. So we have
Copy that.
personal. All right. So we have Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act. Hiyo jina there. PIPEDA is a Canadian federal privacy law that regulates how the private sector collects and uses and discloses the personal information of its clients. You might not get this into exam. What might come into the exam from now and even going on to solutions architect is the HIPAA, the GDPR, and the PCI DSS. So we're not going to stay here for long because this one is, and also for Russia. Russia has a federal law on personal data that includes how individuals must provide consent. Individuals can revoke and previously granted a consent, and transfer of personal data outside Russia requires adequate protection in the destination of the country. You guys, did you hear that if what's the name of the Russian president? All right. So, do you guys hear that if Putin goes to another country and there's like a congregation of, yes, and there's a congregation of different people from different countries, his security team has to collect his pee and poop to go and tupa in their country in his personal toilet, because they do not want anyone going to take his poop or pee and doing research on it, like on his genetics, to know the types of diseases he has. Yes, so yeah, Russia is very private, very, 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 very private, right? And some people here don't talk. For example, a few people here in class, I think they are from Russia. I think they are from Russia. People like Roy, they do not talk. People you have to beg. You have to beg to hear their beautiful voice. Priscilla, Mary, people who don't talk. Yes, even Kim Jong Un, actually, he can't even poop or pee anywhere. All right, what is in the US? At least now I know I have a few people listening to me. You love tea. You love being served tea when it's hot. Guys, United States has many compliance requirements, of course. US, let me look for money and power nikuwe kama Putin. Kabisa, Benson. I agree. I concur with you. All right. So the US has many compliance requirements, like this here, and we are told what they do. I'm just going to skip this because it won't come in your exam. And let's go to compliance in AWS security, cloud security for shared responsibility model. Now, you guys, do you remember we said security of, let me go here, security of the cloud. Whose responsibility is it? Security of the cloud. Whose responsibility is it? Good, AWS. Security in the cloud. Whose responsibility is it? Perfect. Yes. Customer. Yes. Very nice. No fun said mnaniambia wewe mimi. Yes, you say exactly like Elfas. It's for the customer, right? My neighbor has come. All right. So um let me just a second. All right. So let's see about compliance when it comes to shared responsibility between us, who are the customers, and AWS. So AWS regularly achieves third-party validation, and you guys, if I if I start buffering, please let me know. Thanks, Patrick. All right. So when it comes to compliance is a shared responsibility model. In fact, before I go to the compliance, let me guys ask you a question. Who is responsible for patching the host OS? Who is responsible for patching the host OS? Who is responsible for patching the host OS? Let me see if you have answered. Musembi in the AWS. Who is responsible for patching the host OS? A question will come. Who is responsible for patching the host OS? Another question will come. Who is responsible for patching the guest OS? So, who is responsible for patching the host OS? Belinda, how are you? I know you know. Belinda, people. Okay. Anytime, not because Belinda is not coming to your aid when you need her. When it comes to AWS shared responsibility model, anytime you see patching the host OS, it's the responsibility of AWS. When you see patching guest OS, it's your responsibility. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Paul. Yes, AWS patches the host OS, the customer patches the guest OS. Now, who, yeah, now you know, yes. Who is responsible for ensuring security of edge locations? Who is responsible for ensuring security of edge locations? All right. So next week you're going to learn about AWS, the global infrastructure. You're going to learn about regions. So when you see no, Mosembi, no. So global infrastructure, it includes, yes, it's AWS. AWS is has the responsibility of securing the global infrastructure. Those are the regions, availability zones, edge locations, if they are data centers, if they are points of, what do they call them? The POP, I don't know, points of contact or points of something. Those are the functions of AWS. All right. Yes, but that was just passing through. You're going to learn it in depth on, I think it's on Tuesday or Wednesday. All right. So edge locations is the function of AWS. So now AWS ensures the security of the physical infrastructure and foundational services. While you as the client, you're responsible for ensuring security of everything you deploy in the cloud plus your data. All right. If you're good with that, give me a thumbs up. All right. Perfect. So when it comes to compliance support, AWS undergoes third-party validation. Fan, why are you so happy? Pardon, Sharon. What's up? Talk to me, Sharon. Where? Sharon. Sharon, where should I pardon you? All right. So as we wait for Sharon, when it comes to compliance, AWS goes security of edge. All right. So Sharon, we've said, or it's actually here. You see, we have the global infrastructure, okay? We have regions, availability zones, and edge locations. These are the functions of AWS to secure them. Because when it comes to edge locations, they're the ones who are going to ensure that they are securing the warehouses, the routers, the power, the data centers inside, the everything, okay? So AWS is responsible for the security of edge locations. Okay, are you good? AWS is responsible for securing the regions, the availability zones, the edge locations, their own data centers, everything. And I've come again and said AWS is responsible for the security of all the physical infrastructure. So if you see host OS, that's for AWS. But if you see guest OS, that's yours. The guest OS is what you're creating in your own operating system. See, if we come to, for example, now like the major operating system running on the cloud, which is Linux, it's AWS that is responsible for it, all right? If it is creating the databases, it's AWS, like for example, maintaining the ensuring that the cloud itself has databases, it's the function of AWS. But now if you go and you say, I want this database, I want an RDS database, and I'm going to store this type of data. You're responsible for this data that you have stored. Okay. So you're responsible for security in the cloud. Whatever you're doing inside the cloud, it's your job. So your resources that you deploy and your data. But then for AWS, it's responsible for security of the cloud. Chonjo. Now, when it comes to compliance, right? When it comes to compliance, AWS undergoes third-party validation for thousands of global compliance requirements, and it helps its customers to meet standards across finance, retail, healthcare, government, the different types of compliance standards that we have. And it also supports the three major compliance frameworks that I mentioned, which are PCI DSS for credit and debit cards, HIPAA for health information, GDPR for data. All right. Now, let's see about risk and compliance program. Well, the risk and compliance program will help the customers understand how understand AWS controls. It will support the creation and completion of security compliance frameworks, and it will enable the integration of AWS into governance and risk management. So its key components are: number one, business risk management, which identifies and manages risks related to AWS services and operations. Then next we have control environment and automation, security controls and monitoring tools to enforce compliance. For example, like in the morning, we learned about trusted advisor, right? And we learned that security is one of the things that trusted advisor shows you about your resources, your AWS entire AWS account. And then the other thing, we also have AWS certifications and attestations. So AWS offers third-party validations of AWS compliance and global standards. In fact, when we go down here, you are going to learn about where we can store our certificates, our security certificates. The AWS Risk and Compliance Program consists of this that we've said: the business risk management, the environmental and automation, where it gives you tools that you can automate security in your and compliance in your environment. And then we have AWS certifications for global standards. Perfect. Now, let's see something small on business risk management. So, business risk management, its main purpose is to identify, assess, and mitigate risks across AWS operations and infrastructure domain. It supports security assurance and compliance readiness for customers. The key activities include a strategic business plan, which is evaluated biannually, and it outlines the risks, goals, and mitigation strategies that you have. Do you guys remember, like yesterday, we were learning about the BCP? But today we have a strategic business plan, and this strategic business plan, it's going to let you say the risks, the goals, and your migrations mitigation strategies of risks. Number two, it's going to help you with risk identification and remediation, where it helps you detect and address risks across your AWS services. Then there is risk register maintenance, which helps you to track down risks and mitigate them. Then we have security policies that are created and maintained to guide AWS operations. Also, we have employee and security training, where it ensures AWS staff are equipped to uphold security standards, and application and security reviews, which evaluate confidentiality, integrity, and availability, plus policy compliance. So that's the major function of the business plan. And then we have control environment and automation. I'm just going to pass through this because this is something that you really don't have to worry about until you do security your security exam, which is a specialty, by the way. So the control environment and automation, it ensures secure delivery of AWS services, and it embeds security and compliance into design and development of AWS services. Remember, we learned when Patrick was training us in the morning, he told us that AWS, before it even releases any new feature, any new service, the very first thing that they think about is security, right? And then another thing is support operational effectiveness through structured control and automation. And the key elements in control environment and automation is people. So AWS teams are responsible for implementing and maintaining security controls. Then we have policies. These are the rules and guidelines that govern AWS operations and compliance. And we have processes, they define the workflows and ensure consistent, secure service delivery. Also, we have control activities. They specify different actions to enforce security and compliance. And finally, we also have technology. These are the tools and systems used to automate and monitor control effectiveness. Now, roles of automation. It reduces human error and in repetitive tasks. Remember, guys, I told you there's this service called Systems Manager that helps you with automation of repetitive tasks. And I told you an example is the way we create cron jobs on our operating systems. We can use Systems Manager to create those cron jobs for us, to do those things for us. If it's updating your operating system, it's going to automate the entire process for you. If it's remediation, remember yesterday we were learning about config and we said, an example, if an S3 bucket that's supposed to be private and you have a rule about not letting it be public, the moment that it changes to be public, you can use Systems Manager to automate remediation. So what it will do, it will go to the S3 bucket and make it private again. You see, so it is automating these repetitive tasks, all right, and remediation. And also the role of automation is that it ensures consistency and efficiency and proactively minimizes the process of deviations. Then we have AWS certifications and ASA attestations. So the purpose of these certificates and attestations is to provide assurance that AWS control activities that are operating effectively. It supports customers' efforts to meet regulatory, contractual, and industry-specific compliance requirements. So the key audit features are audit scope, which is the global or regional security frameworks that customers, contracts, and regulations apply to. Then we have the audit type. Which is an independent third party attestations audits. And then we have the audit output. These are the certifications, the audit reports, and attestations of compliance. And we have access point. So results are available at the another service called AWS Artifact Portal. So what happens is you want to get a certification of security. Let's say you want to get a certification, right? Maybe for security, the one is said SSLTLS. So you're going to what's going to happen is that number one, we're going to have an audit scope and tell us this is the security framework that or the contract that you want, and then we're going to go and do an audit type. So it will tell us the third party attestations audits that should be done, and for the outputs you're going to be given the certificate and the audit reports and the attestation compliance. After you're done, you can access your results on the AWS Artifact. So remember, guys, we talked about storing your certificates. Do you guys remember when I was teaching you about these security certificates? And a good example was this SSL We said that you can store your certificate either in your email or in your local computer. But then in AWS, we can have a service. Imagine this service is a drawer. And this drawer is called an AWS artifact. So with AWS artifact, it's where you store your certificates. All right. Have you guys gotten that? I need you guys to write that because it's quite a common question in the exams. Have you guys gotten that? I've said, what is the function of AWS artifact? Guys, I've said, what's the goal of AWS artifact? Yes, Musimbi, it's for storing your certificates, compliance certificates. Okay? You people, are you sleeping? Kuna mtu alisema makosa imefanyika mahali na nikawaogopa sana. You people mnaweza nishtua sana. So let's finish up on this. Customer compliance responsibilities. Belinda is asleep digesting lunch. Kwani Belinda ndio alikula rice na fish? Ai, Belinda wake up. Belinda ni kama Belinda amelala. Somebody please wake Belinda up. Salem, how are you? This topic is too theoretical. I just need, in fact, I've skipped a lot of things that I know you won't really come into contact with. Yes, tomorrow will be the opposite. But there you guys, let me finish this one and then I tell you what will happen, what is going to happen. So we have customer compliance responsibilities. You as a customer, what should you do? Number one, understand the required compliance objectives and requirements. So if you're going to have an e-commerce site, you need to know as a customer of AWS, what compliance regulations should you be following? If you're in commerce, you know that you need PCI DSS. Somebody call Belinda for me. Everyone is worried. Sijui niambie Atisa mwamshe. Another thing is a client, establish control environment that meets these objectives. Number four, understand validations required based on the organization's risk tolerance. And finally, verify the operating effectiveness of the control environment. Now, to wake you guys up, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. How many of us here are breathing? How many here of us are breathing? Yeah, 41 of you. All right. And what's the most abundant gas in the air that you're breathing? Hmm? What's the most abundant gas that you in the air that you're breathing? Ay, Musimbi. Musimbi, don't be like that. Yes, it's nitrogen. Hey, Sharon, yawa. We are barely holding up. Read, you're not breathing. Is Chelsea making you breathless? Eh, naona itabidi Musembi to be the professor, because how can you be getting all the answers correct, you Musembi? Sharona said her air, the most abundant one is oxygen, while rage is made breathless. It's all right. It's all right. Now, what's the chemical element with the symbol Fe? Unashindwa kupumua kwa nini, Rage? Eish, people. People. Aya. All right. All right. Perfect. All right. All right. Chuma. Chuma ya doshi ama? It's iron. All right. Now, uh, let me ask you. Chekeni, you laugh is how old? Someone knows 40 months old is how old in terms of years? 3, 2, 1. Hesabu imeshinda watu. Yes, it's 3 years. 3 is 3 years, 4 months. Muhammad, yes, 40 months. 40 months is 3 years, 4 months. All right. Is the square root of 100? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rich, tafadhali, you're the one who needs the vitamin. Worried lot. Yes, it's 10. Rich, sasa, you see the effects of eating 5 eggs. These are the effects of eating 5 eggs. They are not healthy for you. Chelsea anashangaa nani atafunza watoto hesabu. Sasa umecalculate aje? Square root. What's the closest star to Earth? My God. Musimbi, hiyo ni nini umeandika? Guy Mercury. Ai, Rage, tafadhali toka kidogo upigwe na more. Rich, are you okay? Kindly unmute, tell us, are you fine? Muse kataa kujibu. What's the closest star to Earth? And yes, it's the sun. The sun is our closest star. Rich, we tabidi Chelsea atafute mtu wa kufundisha mtoto hadi science. With this rate. Oh, amesema mimi am the closest star. All right, all right. All right, guys. The sun is a star. Yes, the sun is our star. And you guys, let me tell you a fun fact. You see, when you go out at night and you look at the sky, you're going to see all the stars, right? Ama, what do you guys see when you go outside and look up at the sky? What do you guys see? So you see stars. Naona giza. Hey, Kiprono Benson. Kwenyu hakuna stars? Unaona stardust, unaona street light. Ay, you people. All right, when you go outside and you look up at the sky and you see stars, I wonder if your sky has street lights. You people, Felix, street lights zenyu zinakuanga zikifloat. All right, you see stars up in the sky. But then do you know something interesting is that each star has its own solar system. The way our star, the sun, has its own solar system with 8 planets. So fun fact, fun fact. Now, fun umeitwa na Musembi. I need to wake people up, Salem, before we go to the next before we go to the next and final module of security. Guys, let me ask you. Saying one number after another is called what? Mfanye KC, tafadhali. Mohamed, fungua ushare KC yako tufanye. Mohamed, will you share your screen? Hey, Jade. I allow sharing, okay. There, you can share. Saying a number after another. One number and then the next number and then the next number. What am I doing? Our English teachers missed us. Mohammed, we're waiting for you to share. Yes, Musembe, it's counting. Yes, Salim, it's counting. It's counting. Mohammed, you read the questions, they will answer you.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah?
Bado. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we're seeing your screen.
Okay, so compliance. Compliance. I the call be one. Kitu kwa slow. Kitu kwa slow sana. Joy.
Mohamed, give it time.
Labda mwingine iko slow sana side yangu.
Ipatie muda tu.
Labda mtu mwingine chawa kidogo. Naanza. Okay. Question one. What type of requirements do security compliance standard address? Select two. Cost, contractual, regulatory, accounting, and billing. Billing. So, msemaje? Answer.
Ziko hapo kwa chat.
Oh,
Regulatory and contractual.
regulatory na sawa, acha tuone. Regulatory and contractual.
Click continue.
All right. I think Bashir maybe has lost his network. Can we maybe what number were you in on the KC?
Number 2.
Musembi, were you doing your KC?
Oh, I
Who was
did
doing?
them.
Hey, very nice. Very nice. Who was doing his KC right now? To share her screen or his screen? No one? All right. Let me teach you guys about analysis, and then once we're done, we'll get someone to share his screen and do for both. Is that all right? It won't take long. Maybe in the next like 30 minutes. That's okay. All right. Perfect. Awesome. All right. So let's do a little bit of analysis. This is a short one. Unfortunately, it's also theoretical, but you guys should gone through this. Just a second, I prepare my notes. All right. I hope you guys are ready. I'll be done in the next like 20 minutes or so, or 30. I let you guys do your cases and labs. Plus, yes, prepare for next week. But we're going to discuss that in a minute. So let's learn something about the business. I know you guys, I heard you guys being taught about this. We're just going to go through over them because Patrick passed through them. And we're going to learn about the different support plans that we have in AWS. Now, when it comes to to what is it? When it comes to support in AWS, we have a few things that go on, and Mwalimu Patrick today has gone through a few. So let's first start with our AWS account teams. So AWS account teams, they are your first point of contact to guide you through deployment and implementation of your AWS environment. These teams, they point you towards the right resources and resolve security issues that you might encounter. And guys, you might be interested. Remember when we were learning about the different career paths that you can take in the cloud? Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember that we learned about careers in AWS? Yes. There's one career, there's one, yes. So there's one actually called an account manager, right? Where you are, you as an account manager, you're given, say, an organization or even just a government, say, for example, let me think of an organization. Let's say MasterCard, they are using AWS and you are given to them as their account manager, right? So there are different support plans that come with AWS, and here you might even find a few of the jobs that might interest you. For example, I have a liking towards customer service personally, and in AWS, there are, when it comes to support, now support, imagine this is customer service, right? There are different plans that come with AWS. And Patrick told you there's the developers, there's the business, there's the enterprise. Do you remember in the morning? And he told us even a few shillings there in dollars. So this is what we're going to learn in this module right here. And this is the very last module that you have in security. So AWS, it provides basic support plans for all AWS customers. The basic support plan, it includes customer service in communities, trusted advisor, and personal health dashboard. If additional support is needed, there are 3 tiers available that you can go for. So you can go for developer support plan, or you can go for business support plan, or you can go for enterprise support plan. Now, guys, in an exam, this one, or even in Solutions Architect, I need you guys to write these things down because I promise you won't get 1 or 2 questions. You'll get more than 2 questions in support plans. A lot of questions come from billing and support. All right? I need you guys to understand this. So you were taught in the morning about trusted advisor, right? Now, personal health dashboard, it tells you about, it shows you the dashboard it's just a dashboard. So dashboard is like what you're seeing right now. So it's like a view, a display about the health of the services that you're using. Okay. But let's learn about the basic support plans that we have and get to learn about them. So for the AWS developer support, these are support plan for users who use AWS, but for experimentation and testing purposes. All right. So imagine that you are maybe trying something out. You want to see whether EC2 instances will be viable for you, or do you go for containerized services? You can go for developer support. And developer support, I've said it's for experimentation and testing purposes. All right. All right. Are you guys with me? Developer support is for experimentation and testing purposes. Business support is for users or businesses that require AWS for production of workloads. So imagine this may be like for your startup business, for a small business, Experimentation, I've said, Musembi, imagine that you are trying to you're trying to maybe build something, you want to see whether it's going to work, you're just maybe a small startup, you don't know whether things are going to work. So you want maybe to move your workloads to AWS, you're not sure whether it's going to work. And I've given an example of you want to host your e-commerce platform on AWS, all right? And you want to check whether you're going to use, whether you, Purity, Amnesty, are you guys hearing me? And the way I'm shouting here. Are you guys hearing me? All right, Purity, check your speakers. All right, perfect. So I've said developer, you might actually get that you want to try and host your platform, your e-commerce site on AWS. But then you want to check the best service that maybe is going to work for you. So you do not know whether to host it on Beanstalk. You don't know whether to go for maybe EC2 instances. You don't know what type of EC2 instance will work for you. You do not know whether to go for containerized applications. You do not know the service that might work for you. So you're just trying things out. That's what we're calling experimentation. Also, for people like if you want to have a proof of concept, Purity, ebu toka alafu urudi. Toka and then urudi. Sai usiende ukiendanga, toka tu kidogo alafu urudi. Uone kama utanisikia. So you're trying to see whether things are going to work. Now for business support, these are now for users and businesses who now want to, who are now running businesses. For production is for, you see you guys, in prod, you do not want to make a lot of funny changes, right? You want production to be just production, right? So business support is for businesses that use AWS for production workloads. So imagine this, for example, like a small business, maybe like an e-commerce site that has a few branches and they're working and their workloads are actually running on AWS. She has said she's trying to leave the meeting. She'll rejoin and see if it works. All right, Nabo. Thank you, Messenger. I appreciate. And then we have the enterprise support. This provides response time of less than 15 minutes. Now, you guys, this is very important. 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes for business critical systems. If maybe the business critical system is down, support for cloud support engineers is available 24/7. Try joining with another device like your phone, Purity. Try join with another device. With another browser as well. You can try another browser. So enterprise support. Let us look at this site here. Let me just see. Let us look at this site that I will open in a few for you guys to understand. So, Daniel, here is your answer. AWS Developer Support Plan is for users who use AWS for testing within AWS. All right. They use the services for testing and they receive support during business hours only. So, business hours is 8 to 5, right? Or 9 to 5. Developers have email access to cloud support associates. For example, like us, as we have email support, right? Asset Landley. So in case we get an issue with our AWS services, we just email them, right? We email these customer support associates and they help us. And general guidance takes 24 hours or less, which is true because even for us, we get 24 hours or less. And if systems are impaired, you get around 12 hours or less of support. So developer support, general guidance is 24 hours or less. So if you write them an email right now at 3:35 p.m., you're going to receive a response by latest tomorrow 33:35 p.m. That's what we mean. If systems are impaired and you cannot work, you are given 12 hours or less. Yes, Daniel, because you're paying the least amount in anyway in terms of support. All right. Now let's go to business support. Business support plan is for users who are running their businesses in AWS. Their production workloads are in AWS. Now they have support available 24/7 and they are they're given support using their phone, chat, or email. It's very, very important, you guys. You understand. Developer, it's email only, and their support is given for around like 24 hours or less. Okay. Well, Musembi, imagine now the way we have a lot of people who go for AWS. If all of them, and those people offering you support, they're offering support to everyone in the whole world because it's an international organization. And then they also have fewer employees. That's why they're always employing people. And in fact, I know someone who works as a support in the cloud and they work crazy hours as well. So you can maybe get into a shift of around the whole night. Okay. So now developers is by around 24 hours and it's through email alone. Business support is available 24/7 through the phone, chat, or email. General guidance is 24 hours or less. Systems impaired is 12 hours or less. Production system impaired is 4 hours or less. Production systems down is 1 hour or less. I won't tell you to cram, I'll tell you to understand. Now, let's go now to enterprise. Enterprise support might be almost similar to enterprise on RAM. Okay. Enterprise support, now this is the most expensive type of support. And enterprise support is recommended if you have business critical workloads. So imagine someone like Netflix, imagine someone like say even just maybe let me just give maybe like Safaricom or something where they can never ever they can never go down. Okay. So it's recommended for those types of businesses. And with this support plan, your response time is within less than 15 minutes. All right? Less than 15 minutes. With this support plan, your service support is available to you by phone, chat, or email for 24/7, just like in the business. And customers with this plan have a dedicated technical account manager. Do you guys remember I told you about a job called account manager? So in enterprise support, we have a term, a technical account manager. So this one, you're given a term to guide you through your technical issues. All right, this is one person given to you to help you out in case you have issues. And if you get a chance to work with an AWS APN partner network, you will find that you might be given an organization to be their technical account manager, to run their organization, to run their AWS account. So you'll be in charge of checking their EC2 instances. Are they running? Their VPCs, are they secure? Their resources, are they working? You check the trusted advisor, you check their logs, you're responsible for their AWS account. Now, the following are the response times for the enterprise. Akwe mmoja aje. What are you thinking, Gideon? Mbona mnacheka? Oh, oh, wow. Aish, people. All right. Umeoverthink kijana. Umeoverthink. All right. So these are the response times for enterprise support. Number one, the general guidance is 24 hours or less. Systems impaired, 12 hours or less. Production systems impaired, 4 hours or less. Production systems down, 1 hour or less. And business critical or mission critical systems are down, 15 minutes or less. And I have said I won't tell you to cram, I'll tell you to understand. Now we have the partner network. So in Kenya, we have a few. For example, we have Kitsilano, we have Shinrai. These are AWS partner networks. And I'm not going to read this, I'm going to explain to you what they do. So an AWS partner network, what they do is you see the way you guys, you've even complained about the way the support is taking too long, right? So an AWS partner network will do this. They will work with you on behalf of AWS. So they have their own employees who are AWS accredited. So having all the certifications, like this one that you're going to see it for CCP, they have solutions architect associate, professional certificates, and specialty certificates. They're very certified people. These are people who know what they're doing in the cloud, right? So APN has these employees, right? And what they do, you as an organization, you go to an AWS partner network and tell them, I am interested in running my workloads in the cloud, or I even have my workloads on the cloud. I need your support as a partner network. So you'll be given your own account manager. They are going to, maybe if you need things done, for example, if you need support, so maybe if you have issues with your EC2 instances, or if you have issues with your whichever resource that you're using, these people are going to solve it for you. Okay. So the AWS Partner Network, it's a group of cloud softwares and service vendors that work with AWS to assist the customers of AWS in terms of security and compliance needs. If you get an issue, these people will always be with you. Now, Salem is saying, let me see what Salem is saying. Same as Azure, they have partner networks. I got in touch with Mindtree Limited and they solved my Azure problems. Yeah, so it's the exact same thing. Oh, thank you, Naboth. Thank you, Naboth, for explaining it to her. All right, so those are the partner networks, and we have advisories and bulletins. So these are AWS provided advisories that show you maybe this is like a documentation that shows you information on current vulnerabilities and threats, and they also enable you as a customer to report abuse, to report vulnerabilities, and also you can conduct pen testing on your own Oh, nice, Priscilla. Very nice. Say hi to Ray for me. Perfect. Say hi to Rafe and Karen and all those people who are there. Say hi to them for me. And John. All right. So let's learn something about auditors and maybe legal stuff. So maybe if you're in a legal role or in a compliance role or in an auditing role, AWS has given you a few learning paths. Thank you. Thank you. Those are my good friends. I was with them a few months ago. So you can if you're in a legal role, I don't know if us here we have anyone in auditing or finance or compliance or a lawyer. Do we have a lawyer in the house? If you are, there are a few learning paths created by AWS for you that you can follow. You can maybe read on compliance and see how you can guide people. Security benefits. So AWS security has the following benefits. Number one, you can securely scale your infrastructure, control where your data is stored, how is stored, who has access to it, and then also you can automate security services. We said you can use services like Systems Manager to automate repetitive tasks. And AWS focuses on prevention, so it ensures that it defines user permissions for you and identities, and you can do this using AWS IAM. You can be able to detect. So prevention, you can use IAM to define permissions for people, resources, services that have access to your services. You can detect using monitoring and logging, for example, using CloudWatch and CloudTrail. You can respond using, for example, you can create automated responses and remediation. I told you of something, and also to remediate, to automate a real-time data, to remediate and fix issues. For example, like the service I told you of, Systems Manager. All right. So guys, that's the end of my lesson. That's the end of my lesson. Let me give you guys this link right here. Let me give you guys this link right here. Kindly go and read on it. Kindly go and read on it, get to understand the different. Nikisikia vuvuzela, siko maandamano, ni sijui what's going on the road. My lord, I need money to go and live on the offshores. This too stressing. Vuvuzela, surely. Anyway, now kindly go and read on these. You people, you love laughing at me. I'm telling you serious things here. Eh? Anyway, so guys, go read on the premium support. I need you guys to understand on. In fact, I'm going to set a whole. When you finish, amen. Semeni amen watu. Gideon, I'm a prophesy. Gideon has prophesied for me. I am going to Canada. Hey, my Lord, may it come. Amen to that. I will leave you here. Very nice. Kwanza Ontario. I have boots. I have jackets and big big coats. I am ready. Mimi ni safari tu haijaanza. So read on the premium support. I'm going to nataka nimalize nikajoin. Passport iko tayari. Salem, my passport is very ready. It's even almost expiring and it is brand new. Jesus. These 10 years have been totally, I do not even know. Aboriginals. Even me, I'm an Aboriginals ni wa Australia. All right, guys. Kabla nikimbie kwa vuvuzela. Hey, my people, nyinyi mnapenda kunionea. So I need you guys to read on those support plans. Now, an announcement. Next week, do you know the topics that you guys are teaching? If you know, let me know. Sembi, you know. Very nice. Are you guys ready to teach me? Are you guys ready to teach us? Are you guys ready? Gideon is the only one who is ready. Okay. And read. How about the rest? How about the rest? Are you guys ready? Talk to me. Thank you, Musembi. Yes, teaching is not easy. Mary, you're preparing. All right. Chelsea is ready. Aye, all right. Not at the moment. Nicodemus always konangi group. Mimi, I have a bond to chew with you. I come to your group, I do not see you. You and I may do not know. Prudence, you're still preparing. Sandra, still getting ready. All right. You have the weekend to prepare. All right. Team Fire, you're the ones who are starting, right? And you're going to do the databases. Now what you're going to do, go check on let me just share my screen right here. Kwani kesho ni weekend. Read kabla nifike kesho. Nyi huwa mnatupeleka mbio. Hata Gen Alpha hawapelekangi watu mbio hivyo. Nilizaliwa lini? Nicodemus haikukuwa siku moja. Mimi ninakuenea 18. Mfupa yangu na wewe iko. So guys, let me just have this here. Salem, because you do not have enough time to prepare, and I need you guys to prepare. Like those who will be training on Monday, they have a lot of things to train. Apana, next week no being away. Next week no getting sick. Next week no going wherever. Next week you stay in class. You teach us. Me, have I ever gone anywhere? Have I ever filled the form to go? You stay here. So if you know that you'll be teaching, for example, and no dying, you do not have even permission. What do you mean? Hi. If you know you're going to be teaching, so for example, like Fire will be teaching databases, if I'm not wrong. The very first thing they're going to train on databases. Ensure that you go through these databases right here, and you also teach us about AWS database services. All right. So these are DS, Redshift, Aurora, DynamoDB, and this database is here. So you go to the modules, you read the notes, and you prepare the topics. All right. Higher. If it's the next group that's going to teach AWS architecture, kindly ensure that you're teaching this and you look at the modules. Is there anything else in the AWS architecture? Okay. If you're teaching about maybe like servers, ensure that you're going through all the servers, teach about them, and ensure that people will understand. Okay. Now, that's how you're going to train us. And then make sure that your notes are comprehensive. Ensure that you train, do not leave things behind. The way as we teach you on everything that we know, that we have researched, that is the way that we tomorrow is not a weekend. The way that we teach you everything. Hmm? Yes. Absenteeism next week will not be allowed. Thank you, Mwalimu, for that. Remember, you guys, you need to stand with your teams. Some of you are 4, some of you are 5, some of you are 6. If the notes are many, maybe you can determine how you're going to share the workload. All right. If someone is good in your group, for maybe someone is so good at teaching, another one is good at illustrating, and another one is good at making jokes. Divide your talent and how you're going to train us. And Musembi Daniel is Musembi Sandra is not alone. You're working with her and everyone else in your group. And group leaders, kindly do not allow to carry the cross by yourself. Divide the cross and share it among everyone else. We have a reason why you are in your groups. Okay? Everyone needs to participate. Kwanza, those people who have never talked, kindly next week it's your turn. In fact kuna watu kuna watu Aki, do you know there are people whose engagements we were so shocked. Some people's engagements are at 2. Mwalimu Patrick and I, we were very shocked. Yes, making jokes counts. Every talent counts. In fact, if you can sing, kindly create a song for Amazon DynamoDB and sing for us. We will appreciate. Okay? Mark, you laugh. Laugh continuously. Nicodemus, anguka. Hey, fun. Next week it will be my turn. You see the way you people, you come to the class with your night dresses on your bed, half asleep. It is my turn next week. You people, hey, where? Exactly. You can say that. Rage, kindly sing that song if you can. Luckily, make sure that it is in tune with AWS services. Now, another point to note. Another point to note is tomorrow, guys. From tomorrow, Salem, I hope you can hear me. Tomorrow and Friday. These are 2 days that we do not expect any one of you to miss class. Tomorrow we're starting on introduction to programming and we'll finish on Friday. And the lessons that we're going to train you to do tomorrow and on Friday, they are very intense. Ay, Musembi. Read. All right. People, hakuna long weekend. There's no long weekend. Tomorrow we're going to do introduction to programming. And after that, on Friday we're going to do Python programming. All right? I need you guys to come prepared mentally, because you said that, for example, Salem was complaining today's lesson is theoretical. Tomorrow you need a pen and a paper. For those who've not gone to any programming class, tomorrow will be your introduction to a programming class. Friday, you're going to learn everything about Python. All right? Yeah. Ai, my Lord Salem. Guy, wewe na Belinda same WhatsApp. Guy, unaona venye you are drinking tangawizi chai? Imagine next week, I'm waiting for the time you will train. I will have my uji for tangawizi, even me, and bread. All right? So, Musembi, si mmefundishwa kutumia Cloud9? Inaitwa Cloud9? Si mmefundishwa kutumia Cloud9? So, now nitakuja na ujipawa yangu. Hamjafundishwa? All right, it's okay. So, I'm going to do an introduction on it tomorrow, basi. Tomorrow, I need you guys to concentrate. It will be sawa, haina shida. Cloud9 ni kama nitawaonesha. So tomorrow no missing class, Friday no missing class, next week no missing classes. Next week you people are training us. Tomorrow and Friday, I'm giving you a heads up. Kindly today go and rest. Go and do all your labs. Python has around, I don't know, double the labs you've ever seen. You need to finish them. All right? Tomorrow, sorry, Mohammed. Tomorrow and Friday will be very, very fast. Tomorrow and Friday, we are doing a lot of things in a short period of time. So be prepared. As well, also, if you guys are meeting to discuss on what you'll be training, kindly do so. Prepare. No, you're using Cloud9, Salim. You're using Cloud9 to learn Python. So guys, prepare early for next week. Start your discussions as soon as today. If you're going to use PowerPoint presentations, if you're going to use Canva, if you're going to use, for those with Apple, with Apple OS, Macintosh, those fancy presentations that you have, kindly use them. But remember, we're going to check the syllabus. Do not jump anything, do not skip anything. Teach everything as much as you can, all right? Let me ask Patrick. Patrick, do you have an announcement?
Good job, Joy. Not really, but I just want to reiterate what you've told the guys that yes, tomorrow and Friday are critical. Tomorrow and Friday are very, very critical. I can see people are very excited about programming. So we are teaching you a lot of stuff in today. So make sure that you guys are in class. That's one. And then number two, someone was asking why are we talking about next week's stuff on Wednesday? We are talking like that because we know that some of you are very good at dragging your feet. You want to wake up on Sunday and then prepare for Monday. That's not how it works. You are covering a lot, so please make your own arrangements with your teams to divide the work and come and present, come and teach us. Yes, so that's all I would say. Yes, so mkuwe na jioni njema. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Patrick. And Esther. Is Esther with us?
None from my desk.
All right. All right, no problem. So you guys have a great evening. Kindly do all your cases, all your labs. Finish them. Tomorrow and Friday are going to be nasty stuff. So guys, come ready. Kuja uko umevaa gumboots. Wear gumboots, wear overall, wear helmet, wear knee pads. Tunaingia kwa matope kesho. Right? So see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice evening. Ciao.